Some of us did not want to be here. Probably most of us didn't want to be here. But the thing is, we're very grateful because Fort Lauderdale here is very homeless unfriendly. And the people that do care about us take very good care of us.
Homeless man, living in so many places. Homeless man, different names and different faces. Homeless man, remind me what I know is true. One mistake and I'll be there with you.
I've been on the streets off and on since I was 13 years old. My mom kicked me out and everything. I've been off and on battle ever since.
Man, only God knows where you've been.
Surprisingly, we've gone from, we used to say we had 6,000 homeless in Broward County. We're now talking about 10,000. The jump is hard to explain. We feel that perhaps the census missed a lot of people. But right now, the figure that's most often quoted, and it's quoted by United Way, is 10,000 homeless persons in Broward County. It's moving upward, there's no question about it. I'll tell you one thing I've seen that might surprise you. I've seen middle management people on the street.
I was an executive chef. I worked at the University of Massachusetts in Boston. Yeah. Now I'm a homeless, jobless cripple here.
I used to make a lot of money, I know that, so it's tough. But it won't last.
That I've never walked a mile in your shoes, never had to see.
There are many reasons. I've had at least one person who's an educator. I've had at least one lawyer who refuses to identify himself. Diverse reasons for people being homeless.
I don't think you can pinpoint one specific reason. I think it's a multitude of things that just sort of steamroll, and it can happen to anyone.
A lot of reasons why people are homeless. You know what I'm saying? We all have different reasons.
People end up out here for one reason or another. Everybody's got their individual reasons why they ended up here. I have my own individual reason.
How'd you end up on the street?
I busted up my leg, lost my apartment.
Couldn't work?
Yeah, I couldn't work. I had no insurance down here when I came down here.
I smashed my head and blood clot, left me epileptic.
Oh, I didn't know.
Unfortunately, left me on the street.
How are you supposed to eat on, pay rent, and eat, and buy clothes and everything else with $554 a month in rent and $13 in food stamps?
The one predominant reason would be the problem of addiction to drugs or alcohol.
I spent 20 years on the streets as an addict, an alcoholic, and a prostitute, and that's how I made my money to support myself.
And I do drink, I ain't gonna lie.
I was functional alcoholic before I even ended up in this situation.
Wondering why you don't get on your feet, wondering why you just don't change.
It's an awfully hard thing to kick, and many of these people have been addicted for a number of years, and some have valiantly tried to kick the habit, but it's more than difficult. It's almost impossible for some of these people. People who were released from mental hospitals, who are still mental cases. I mean, they've not been cured. They're on the street. Other reasons are, of course, the loss of a job, not having family to take you in.
The big problem is there's 8 million unemployed in the United States, and you add those to the people who are homeless, you got a lot of them who are now becoming homeless. If they don't have family to take them in, they run out of their money, where are they going to go?
Even a bad divorce can cause you to be on the street.
Go back to my ex-wives. They got me on the street. I have to go back there and take my money back.
I can count on fingers of one hand the people who told me they want to be on the street. They want to be on the street.
Not everybody choose to be homeless. Not a lot of them choose that.
Yeah, been on the street about 5 years. Yeah. At first I thought it was an adventure, and now it's the pain. It's tough on the streets.
What's the toughest part?
Walking a lot. Trying to find a place to sleep. Cold at night. Heat during the day.
Crackheads and cops.
Hey, can I get a job?
That's the hardest thing about being out on the streets. Crackheads trying to rob you and the cops trying to throw you in jail.
Waking up on concrete with your hips, like it feels like they're displaced.
Try to stay out of the rain.
And the police.
Staying warm and making sure the cops don't mess with you. Yeah, that's the hardest part, is finding a place to sleep where the cops don't mess with you. They run you off or take you to jail.
Basically, the cops hassle the hell out of everybody out here, and pretty much beat them up pretty good.
I don't know. I just try and do what I can do.
It's very easy to get on the street. To get off is tough because you have society generally working against you. They go to the labor pool, to give you an example. They start out 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. They stand in line to get a job at the labor pool. Let's say they're chosen. They go out. They do the dirtiest kind of labor in the summertime. They'll be doing roofs, the hot tar. In the other times of the year, they'll be picking in the fields or doing just menial jobs. And they'll come back with maybe $25, $30 in their pocket. Well, that is not enough to get you a room, to get a place to sleep, even to get decent meals.
I'm walking away with like $40 a day. It ain't much.
I hope they do.
By the time they take out for transportation and taxes and everything else, you're not walking away with much money.
Well, with me working, I get SSI. That's not enough.
Yeah.
That's not enough.
Show.
Well, yeah. That's not enough to get an apartment what they pay me.
No.
Once you get down here, it gets very difficult when you get close to the bottom of that can to dig your way out again. The labor pools don't help.
So that they're still going to be homeless, they're still going to be needy, and we feel there's still going to be need for us to look after them as best we can.
For what it's like to be homeless man, living in so many places. Homeless man.
We used to take care of homeless people, as many as we could find, and she was a whiz. She could spot a homeless person half a mile away. But what she would do when we came to call that the Maureen method. She would ask me what the biggest bill I had in my pocket was, a 10 or a 20, and she'd take it and she'd go up, she'd walk behind the person, drop it on the ground, tap them on the shoulder and say, "Sir, you must have dropped that." And then she'd hurry away before anybody ever knew her name. But she died tragically in an accident. I decided that the best living memorial that I could do would be to start a full-scale program in her name. And that's why it's the Maureen Abbott Love Thy Neighbor Fund. It's actually honoring her, but doing what she and I did together, and now I'm carrying it on. Yeah, at the beginning we had my daughter from Pennsylvania came down, and my son and I, we made up 40 bags of a sandwich, a nectarine, I recall, a cold drink, and we had the bag lunch, and we went around the library where I had seen a lot of homeless people, where we fed them before, and we chased them around, and we got rid of the 40 bags in short order. And the very next week we made 100 meals up, and we went to the beach without anybody's permission, and we went to Holiday Park. We went to 2 places.
Yeah, 12 years ago I started in Holiday Park and here almost the same time. And we fed here for, I'd say, 11 of the 12 years.
The tent city was built, and at that point we were told that we were no longer needed. The tent city housed about 500 persons, and there were 14 feedings, and Love Thy Neighbor was in charge. The city put us in charge. They said anybody who wants to feed has to go through Love Thy Neighbor. And we just built up, and we financed ourselves through a golf tournament, an annual golf tournament, which is our 10th one coming up. Even though we've been in business 12 years, we started on the 3rd year. And at times we've had a charity art auction to bring in funding. I just wish we could do more. The need is great, and we're limited, but we try to go beyond our limits to do as much as we possibly can for as many as possible. Every Tuesday is my pickup day. I go to the Daily Bread Food Bank where we buy most of our food. You only can get what they have at the time. And there are times when it's very sparse as far as the types of foods they have and the supplies. But we've never run out of food in 12 years, and we always plan for at least 50 more than we get. Of course, you never know.
We thank you for allowing us to meet together once again in an atmosphere of mutual respect and compassionate fellowship each with the other. We ask you to bless all those present, all those who will come later, and all of our friends who could not be with us tonight. We ask you to keep them safe from harm. We ask you to bless the food we're about to eat, food that was prepared with loving hands and loving hearts, and will be served exactly the same way with loving hands and loving hearts. We ask you to bless those who prepared the food. And we want to tell you why our food is better than anybody else's, because the main ingredient we use is love. L-O-V-E. We ask you to make today better than yesterday, tomorrow still better than today. We ask you to cause your heavenly countenance to shine down upon us, all of us who are your children, all of us who are equal, and grant us shalom, everlasting peace, and let us say amen.
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 Good, thank
We
you.
have beautiful stuffing. We have
He's the
roast,
bride.
Right. We have roast lamb. We have baked salmon with hollandaise sauce. We have steamed vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower. We have fresh tossed salad. And we have fresh fruit salad. And we have a gorgeous tray of pastries.
Look at all that gourmet food.
And drinks. If there's anything you're missing, we'll send it in the complaint department. We're the gourmet kitchen. We serve wonderful, wonderful food. And we always serve steamed vegetables. We buy the fresh vegetables, summer squash, zucchini, and we always have a tossed salad, and we're going to have melon wedges. And then we have a 6-foot table of pastries, which are beautiful. We usually have key lime pie, and chocolate cakes, and cookies galore, and we serve drinks.
What you want, we got at Arnold's restaurant. Serve it hot, this ain't no cold cut sandwich shop. Gourmet food prepared with love, served that way too. From Arnold's restaurant to you. What you want, we got at Arnold's restaurant. 4-course meal, the price is right.
We have one requirement when we feed them. We ask that they be hungry, that's all. That's the only requirement.
How's the food that he serves?
Oh, it's great. It is great. I mean, you leave here hungry, it's your own fault. It is your own fault.
I had gotten used to eating just once a day.
Salmon, lamb, broccoli, stuffing, fresh fruit. Come on.
Our food is good. And I think if there's one reason we use fresh food to start with, the main ingredient we use in our food is love. And they feel the love that comes through the food, and the people who serve it are wonderful. And they project their warmth to the people who are being fed. That's why they come to us.
What do you think?
Very
Gary?
good.
What do you think? Anybody got any complaints on the complaint department?
Never. Price is right.
Wednesday is one of my favorite days because this man here, right here, Arnold, he feeds lots of food and it's good.
They've never been able to run us out of food, so we're very happy about that. Please come back for more, all right?
He tries to get people to take plates with him and everything. But, you know, a lot of them, everybody's already full.
Yeah.
Because they eat a bunch down here. I mean, Arnold brings a whole bunch of food.
Arnold tries to give us the best, and all the soup kitchens I go to, I like Arnold's the best.
He doesn't like to see anybody hungry. He almost twists your arm to make you take seconds.
You guys eat before you came?
No.
Well, We want you to finish that and come back and get more. We got lots of food.
One thing I can say about Arnold, Arnold be always on time. On Sunday and on Wednesday at the beach. And he feeds them a lot. You need any more, give you more. If sometimes you have food left over, you're trying to push it on you, you take it, you know. So it's a good thing that what Arnold is doing.
One time when I was feeding, I saw a bunch of guys leave a table and get into a circle. And then one of them came over and said, Arnold, we just voted. We voted Love Thy Neighbor as the best restaurant in Broward County. And I said, wow. And they said, and by the way, the price is good too. But we don't turn our backs on anybody. I'll tell you what, on the beach we've even fed tourists. They see a line and they come in, and we certainly don't turn anybody down. We're happy to have them share.
Von Würzburg, Unterfranken, Deutschland. Ich bin Deutscher und ich hocke hier in Florida. Ich habe eine gute Zeit und wegen gute Leute habe ich Essen in meinem Bauch. Dankeschön.
He's having a good time and good food.
This past Wednesday night, we had 2 tourists come and ask if they could help us serve. And which we think is wonderful, and they enjoy the experience tremendously. And tourists on the beach particularly will come by and they'll press money into our hands and say they don't do this at home. I think it's wonderful what you're doing. We have the best group of volunteers that any man was ever blessed with. They're wonderful, wonderful people, and I am truly blessed by having them. Just plain wonderful people who give of themselves, and they think nothing of spending time with us. Could be spent with their families, and giving of themselves to the people who have very, very little or nothing. And but I think they get a lot out of it too. I'm sure they do.
That's not really the question of why they're out there. It's just the point of helping somebody that's less fortunate than you.
I have friends that bring clothes to my house because rather than give it to, you know, like the charity places like where you would sell it again, Poverello, things like that, they can't buy it. So I bring it, dish it out, and it's free.
And the warmth that goes between the homeless to the volunteers is something to see also. They enjoy serving on the beach, and we serve at the Department of Feeding program on Sunday mornings also. It's something that they didn't expect. It's serendipitous, it really is. And they thoroughly enjoy the process of feeding, and they get a lot out of it, a lot of satisfaction. Many of them will thank you to death, and they'll embarrass you with the surfeit of thanks that they give, and they are grateful.
I love you, Arnold.
I thank God for Arnold that helps a lot of homeless people out.
Because if it weren't for Arnold, I'd be digging through dumpsters. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome, and your cousin made a
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
He went to court 3 times to get where he could do this. He won all 3 cases. And that means a lot to me.
It's the wonderful things about Arnold that make us come out here and love him even more every day.
Little mustard, little sauerkraut.
Okay.
Take it.
We have reunited over 350 homeless persons with their family all over the United States, which is part of our Homeward Bound program. On this end, we make sure they're sober, they're free of drug addiction and alcohol, and we'll send them home. We have a Kids for Kids program. We have children who have AIDS, we have children who have prostheses. One particular case is a Mexican family who have 6 children. Just this past week, I took them all shoe shopping, which we do a couple of times a year. We take them for their school supplies, we take them for clothing. And right now we're very excited because we're going to start our Love Thy Neighbor Culinary Skills Training Program. That's going to start on June the 16th, and our first semester will run June 16th to August 18th, and that'll be a 9-week course.
I've done a lot of cooking at home, and but at the present time, I don't have a home to cook in.
We're very excited because at the end of that 9-week period, they can become line cooks or prep cooks. homeless is very important. It's will give them jobs.
It's fun. It ain't, it's something I like to do.
The state will pay a chef out of state funds. McFadder has a placement service so that the ones who complete the course are guaranteed there'll be a spot for them in the restaurant industry. And by the way, the restaurant industry in Fort Lauderdale, there are 45,000 jobs available. 45,000 jobs, and you don't need a college education to work in the restaurant industry. So we're very, very excited about it. My dream has always been to get the homeless off the street and back into society as productive individuals. We have people who stop me on the street and say, "Arnold, you don't remember me. You fed me for 5 years, and now I have a wonderful job. I'm married. I've got an apartment. I've got a car, and thank you so much for taking care of me." This happens all the time.
I don't live on the streets anymore. I got a job. I got a cell phone. I got a truck. I got a bicycle. You know what I'm saying? Some people want help. They don't really straighten up, but a lot of them do straighten up. So I'm a straighten up person from the help from Arnold.
And people are just so excited and so thankful for what we did for them, what little we think we did for them. But the little we did was done with love and with caring, and that's the difference. They know that they're going to meet with compassionate people who will try to help as best they can.
I can go to him for advice and he'll give me advice anytime I need a shoulder to cry on, he said. And not that many people do that.
You're never going to wipe out homelessness. You're never going to wipe it out. It'll always be with us. There's always going to be a hard core of homeless persons that you're not going to be able to help very much. But we feel at least in feeding them and giving a sympathetic person to talk to, even a pat on the back is so very important to these people. It's just a little human warmth. It's what they need more than anything else. Every person in that line has a problem. Every person. And at times you're going to hear all of those problems. And it's kind of tragic. You don't know how to handle them all, or you can't help everybody, but you do the very best you can. And they know we care about them. That's why they come to love their neighbor. Love is in our name, and love is what we're all about. We do love our neighbors.
Please help us out. We need everything you can give.
All I want is a place to make my bed. Newspaper for a blanket, no pillow for my head. All I need is to know somebody cares, who asks me how I'm doing and keeps me in their prayers. All I want is a place to call my home, a place I'm not a stranger, a place I'm not alone. All I need is to see your friendly smile shining on my troubles, forget them for a while. All I want is a place that's warm and dry, a place where I can laugh and a place where I can cry. All I need is someone to make me smile, someone that I can talk to, who listen for a while.